Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of mine. This is going to be an interesting one today. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Nandy and I'm so happy to have you here. In today's video, I kind of wanted to go back to another one of my debt confession videos where I showed a year-over-year review, right? Trying to analyze, am I spending too much money? In today's video, because it's the end of Q3, I wanted to kind of expand that video and kind of analyze where I stand based on previous expenses in terms of percentage of money spent in all of my various categories, of course, using Mint. And if you're new to my channel, I love Mint. I have a whole course for you on how, that's a detailed course on how you can use Mint. Take a look at the link below for that course so that you can learn how I use Mint to manage my money and stay on track and get a report very similar to one that I am using today. Without further ado, I am going to shrink myself. I'm going to give you guys kind of a quick recap of this spreadsheet. If you watch my previous video, you know exactly what this spreadsheet is. If not, we are going to link it down below or somewhere up here for you to, we're gonna unhide. What I did at the beginning of the year is that I went all the way back to 2015 when I started using Mint regularly. And I started analyzing the expenses. This is where I started. At first with Mint, I only had certain accounts, right? I was only looking at some aspect of my finances. It wasn't until around 2018 that I became very diligent at tracking all of my expenses on Mint. I connected all of my spending accounts and started tracking all of my expenses. As late as 2021, I went from only tracking my expenses to having an overall view of my full net worth. So now my investments, my savings, all of my credit cards, my cars, my property values are all connected there. For today's video, I am going to hide all of these again. And we are only going to focus on my Q1, Q2, Q3, and total for 2023 so far. I won't be going necessarily line by line on how much I'm spending on everything. I wanted to have a good look and understanding of how am I trending, right? Because sometimes when you're just sitting at home looking at your finances and you don't have everything on paper, it becomes really easy to think that you're either overspending or underspending. The categories I'm specifically looking at, when I added this analysis here, I started looking at, okay, well, what am I spending over 20% in? Those were bills and utilities, and it makes sense. And then my travel, it makes sense. So all of this travel money should have been reimbursed to me, and I'll be doing an overall analysis. Okay, well, how much did the company give me back? Does it align with this $41,000? I then started looking at the next top categories in that area, the next top categories in terms of percentage spent, right? And I think this is really important. Less focused on the number I'm spending, I'm focused on whether or not the percentage tracked with previous history. I started looking at shopping. I was like, okay, $9,000 for shopping is a lot. It's around 7.93%, which is higher, except for a few years where I had to do a lot of shopping to furnish a property. I moved into a new apartment, so I incurred quite a lot of extraneous cost. So this to me was a bit of a red flag that I'm reaching almost 8% on shopping. Given everything that I want to accomplish, this is probably not the best way to spend my money, but I'm still happy that it's under like that 10% mark, right? If it was above 10%, to me it would be kind of, ooh, pants on fire. Food and dining, I am at 11.71%. I don't like where I'm at, but I know that food and dining is more than just the food that I'm spending myself. A big percentage of that is food coming for work. So I will be digging deeper towards the end of the year, and in my next Q3 breakdown video, I will kind of be trying to analyze, okay, how much of my spending was actually me dining out and how much of it was the companies. And also, this should be food and dining and home supplies, because my Walmart expenses are under my food and dining, because I do a lot of my groceries through Walmart, but also I do a lot of almost all of my home supply spending through Walmart as well. And then the next big category on here was business services. I am at around 4.92%. That is trending a little bit higher. But in 2021, when I had a freelancer working with me on a regular basis, I was at almost 12%. I am a big believer in nurturing the right side projects that could lead to true long-term financial benefits. So just starting about a month ago, I invested in an assistant and an editor to help me with a couple of projects. So this number here will be going up, but I'm considering it an investment. I'm even trying to determine whether or not I want to make that a completely separate expense or account in and of itself and not really include it as part of my personal expense. But I usually like to wait until that expense starts making me money to isolate it as not a hobby. So I'll think about it in the next few weeks or months. But right now, my business services is going to be closer to this 2021-2022 range. I think 5% here was a little bit on the low side. 10%, I'm okay being at 10% here. Now we have to figure out where we're going to cut back. Or can we build extra income from it, right? So that business will pay for itself. But I've been doing this long enough to know that it takes a good 2 to 3 years of consistently putting into it before it starts paying you back. So I don't know. And then financial. So financial, this is an interesting one. This is the account that tracked all of my debt snowball payments. Some of them were counted as financial, some were not, but you know what? It's okay. This is at 5%, but it's all for a good cause here. We're paying down debt. So those were the biggest categories that I really wanted to watch out for. And then the other big one was my fees and charges categories. This year, because of all of the effort that I put in paying down debt, I'm at only 2.5% overall. And if you look here at how I am trending, this is so exciting. In 2023, I started off at around 3.96% or $1,649 per quarter. Now I'm at $269.47 or 0.16%. That's so awesome. And that's exactly what you want to see. And I'm elated. I couldn't be happier, and I'm hoping that streak continues. So hopefully some of the money from paying down debt and fees and charges I can actually put towards investing in myself with the editor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's pretty exciting. So other than that, everything else is pretty low and surprisingly comparable. So auto and transport, I love the consistency. 2021, I was at 3%. 2022, I was at 3%. Remember, 2022, I barely drove anywhere because I got into an accident in 2021. But I did spend an ungodly amount of money on Ubering and renting cars. What was for me an ungodly amount of money, right? I should have put that towards making a car payment, but everything happens for a reason. We take a step back, it's going to be good. And the only reason why in 2023 I'm only at 2.84% despite having a car payment is that I did something this year that I'm not sure if it's the right decision. But because I started with that in mind, I'm going to continue it until the end of the year, right? Because it would really mess up what my numbers look like. I took everything that was considered a bill, like a recurring payment, and I put it all onto bills and utilities. That was my auto, my home, all of that. So it looks here as if all of these other categories, the spending is really low. Like, so for example, in home, even though a large percent of this 33,000 is technically my rent. My home expenses here look low just because of how I structured it in 2023. So if we wanted to compare bills and utilities to 2021 and 2022, we have to account for home as well. Yes, so other than that, everything else I'm tracking. Well, health and fitness, this is a number that's going to go significantly higher for me. I did hire a personal trainer. I'm working with a personal trainer, and so far it's been great. This is something else that I'm going to commit to. So health and fitness, really important. Home, personal care, where do I stand? So personal care, I used to be at 0.2%, and personal care has also gone up. So you're seeing health and fitness, personal care, these are things that are going up because I am making a choice to get my nails done, even though I'm overdue because I broke my nail. So I'm overdue for another nail care appointment. I'm trying to do some things at home, but let's be honest, it just gets harder. It just gets harder the busier your schedule is. Taxes, that's a liability, no choice, has to happen. So yes, so that is an overview of my expenses. These are the things that I do anyways to check where I'm at currently, and it helps me stay in check, right? Am I completely out of control or not? And when I'm looking at this, I can see where, food and dining could be problematic, but this is also work related. Shopping is definitely problematic, and I'm seriously considering getting rid of my Amazon. Not getting rid of Amazon Prime, but just getting rid of it on my phone so I don't have to do all of the extra spending. But I am not sure what I'm going to do just yet. But I'm only at 9,000, while last year I was at almost 17,000. We'll see. Now, before we do that, let's take a look at total expense. I'm at $125,134. Total income coming in with $172,586. That's a difference of about $47,452. And this tracks because if you look at how much I've paid down, I've almost paid down $58,000 in credit card debt. So all of this extra money that I've been getting has just been going into paying off that debt. So it kind of makes sense that I've been bringing this much in, but because my debt was also super high, I'm paying a lot in debt. If you have not seen my debt payoff tracking video, I'm going to link it down in the description below. This is a great video that just really shows you where I started, why I started that way, and where I'm at today. Okay? Before I close out this video, I just want to quickly go on a quick tangent. As I get older, as I evaluate and examine my own life, I'm starting to realize the importance of spending for certain things, right? While I do want to save, I do want to put money aside, I'm also very intentional in putting money into certain things, right? You can say that it has probably gotten me in trouble in the past, but it's always trouble that I've been able to manage, and it's always risks that I've been able to mitigate well. Health and fitness, for example, I could easily say today, no, I'm not going to invest in my health and fitness because I want to save money. But that's not a smart decision. And I'm going to be honest, I work too darn much to not have somebody to push me, right? Between me building extra side projects, me managing my rental properties, and me having a very demanding full-time job in a pseudo executive role, it is challenging to manage all of these different things and still remain sane on my own. So being able to get some help from other people to motivate me, to encourage me, to hold me accountable is important. So that's why, to me, health and fitness, even though that's a huge expense, it's one that I am at this moment seeing the upside on. And that's also true with my business assistants, right? So with my business assistants, I can drive certain aspects of the business, nurture them, watch them grow slowly until they can stand up on their own 2 feet. So I can do my part, hand it to someone else, have them finish the execution, post it online, we're good to go. I am investing in what will for sure, I'm confident, become an extra source of a little bit of some to go into my pocket. What I will be doing here in the next few months, I can't share right now because I'm still figuring things out. I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm looking for bigger ways to cut back on my expenses, right? Because I think far too often we're focusing on the coffee budget. Well, the coffee budget won't make them as much of a dent as other things, right? That are a little bit bigger. Like your home expense, right? Can you offset that cost? So anyhow, that was my little tangent spiel. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another one of these videos. You guys know I'm enjoying recording them for you, and I enjoy having you guys share in my personal journey. If you like the video, of course, give me a thumbs up. I have a lot of great videos coming up where I'm downloading all of the knowledge from the messiness that I've been going through in the past year, 2 years. My knowledge on investing in real estate, my knowledge on now learning how to manage credit cards and leveraging them to collect points, cash back, miles, etc. I'm also going to be downloading a lot of my knowledge on how I have learned to budget. And if you guys are interested in the future, I would also love to share how I went from making less than $39,000 a year to now making almost in the triple six figures between my full-time job, all of my side hustles, and my investments. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you guys in the next video, my dears. Have a great one. Bye.